What if the most dangerous place in our solar system isn't where we thought? For 50 years, we were told Uranus was a boring, frozen ice giant, a quiet world on the edge of the void. But as of this morning, that lie has been shattered. The James Webb Telescope just turned its infrared eye toward the seventh planet, and what it found is terrifying. NASA researchers just released a 3D map of the Uranian interior, and it shows the planet's magnetic field isn't just tilted, it's warping. Massive, invisible forces are literalizing deep within the core, creating auroras that sweep across the planet like a targeted weapon. And here's the part they aren't telling the mainstream media. This discovery perfectly aligns with a sudden, high-stakes crisis at NASA that just forced the Artemis II moon mission into a total rollback. Today, we reveal the data they can no longer hide. First, let's look at our solar system. Every single planet, from Mercury to Neptune, spins like a top. They stand relatively upright relative to their orbital plane. But Uranus is the ultimate glitch in the matrix. It does not spin. It barrel rolls. Uranus is tilted at a staggering 98 degrees. It is entirely on its side. For decades, the accepted scientific consensus was that a massive, Earth-sized protoplanet slammed into it billions of years ago, knocking it completely over. But the new James Webb Space Telescope data suggests something far more active and destabilizing might be at play. Because of this extreme axial tilt, the planet is locked in a brutal, unrelenting cycle of extremes. It takes Uranus 84 Earth years to orbit the Sun. That means one pole is plunged into total freezing darkness for 42 years, while the other bakes in direct, continuous sunlight for 42 years. There is no day and night cycle as we understand it. There is only a generation of light, followed by a generation of darkness. But the 98-degree tilt isn't even the most glaring problem. The true anomaly, the one that has astrophysicists scrambling to update their theories, is its broken magnetic shield. A planet's magnetic field is generated by a dynamo operating in its core. On Earth, that field surrounds us in a neat, somewhat symmetrical bubble that protects our atmosphere from the solar wind. Our magnetic poles are relatively close to our geographic poles, but Uranus's magnetic field is utterly mangled. If Earth's magnetic field behaved like Uranus's, your compass wouldn't point north. It would point toward New York or somewhere in the Australian outback. The entire field is violently offset from the center of the planet. And for years, scientists had no idea why, until JWST pierced the veil. What the telescope just found changes absolutely everything we thought we knew about planetary physics. Using JWST's highly sensitive infrared instruments, NASA successfully mapped the Uranian upper atmosphere, specifically the ionosphere, in complete 3D for the very first time. And the mapping revealed a magnetic architecture that is completely fractured. The magnetic field of Uranus is not originating from the center of the planet. It is detached. The center of the magnetic field is shifted away from the planet's physical core by an astonishing 1/3 of the planet's entire radius. It is floating out in the mantle. Because of this extreme displacement, the planet's auroras behave unlike anything else in the observable universe. On Jupiter, Saturn, or Earth, auroras are neat, glowing rings confined strictly to the north and south poles, not on Uranus. Because the magnetic field is tumbling and detached, the auroras do not happen at the poles. They sweep erratically across the entire planet in chaotic, irregular, highly energized bands. They flash and pulse in completely unpredictable latitudes, acting more like sweeping searchlights across the planet's surface. And this tumbling, chaotic magnetic field is having a devastating physical effect on the planet itself. The JWST 3D maps identified anomalous regions now classified as dark depletion zones. These zones are areas where the twisted, irregular magnetic field is failing to protect the planet. Instead of deflecting the solar wind, the mangled magnetic lines are tangling, opening up massive funnels directly into space. Uranus is literally leaking. The twisted magnetic field is actively allowing the planet's atmosphere to be stripped away and violently ejected into the vacuum of the solar system. The planet is bleeding its own atmosphere, and until JWST turned its sensors toward it, We had absolutely no idea it was happening on this massive scale. But the anomalies don't stop in the upper atmosphere. The deeper JWST looked, the less sense the data made. We are now facing a severe thermodynamic paradox, a massive clash between the upper atmosphere and the interior that defies our current laws of planetary physics. Uranus is categorized as an ice giant, but it holds a very strange record. It is not the furthest planet from the Sun. Neptune is roughly 1 billion miles further out. Yet, Uranus is the coldest planet in the solar system. When the Voyager 2 probe flew past in 1986, it took thermal readings and sent back a stunning conclusion. Uranus was dead. It possessed zero internal heat. It was the only giant planet in our solar system that did not emit more heat than it received from the Sun. It was a frozen, featureless blue-eyed ball-eared. But Voyager 2 was wrong. Or, more accurately, its instruments weren't sensitive enough to see the hidden chaos. The JWST correction is staggering. Webb measured the upper atmosphere and recorded temperatures of roughly 153 degrees Celsius, or 426 Kelvin. This is actually significantly cooler than some historical estimates of the thermosphere, meaning the upper atmosphere is rapidly losing energy. It is cooling down fast, but here is the paradox. While the upper atmosphere is rapidly losing energy, JWST's deep penetrating infrared sensors detected a massive conflict below the clouds. The data proves that Uranus does emit a tiny fraction of internal heat. The core is not completely dead. It is slowly, steadily leaking thermal energy into the deep mantle. So, we have a rapidly cooling, highly energized upper atmosphere directly clashing with a slowly leaking, deep-seated internal heat source. The thermodynamics are completely inverted compared to other gas and ice giants. The clash between this cooling atmosphere and the leaking core is a thermodynamic puzzle that astronomers are currently struggling to solve. The heat is not distributing normally. It is being trapped, diverted, and blocked by processes we simply cannot see. It is as if something massive inside the planet is physically obstructing the convection currents, preventing the core's heat from reaching the surface evenly. If you still think Uranus is a quiet, dead world, look at what is happening right now as it moves along its orbit. The planet is highly active, incredibly dynamic, and currently brewing something monstrous. Uranus is fast approaching its next solstice in the year 2028. Because of its 98-degree tilt, this means its north pole is currently pointing almost directly at the Sun. For the first time in over 4 decades, the northern hemisphere is receiving constant, unrelenting solar radiation. JWST captured this thermal shift in terrifying detail. The dark, featureless blue orb is gone. In its place is a glowing, intensely active polar cap. A massive churning photochemical haze is forming over the entire northern hemisphere. And at the dead center of it all, an enormous polar cyclone is brewing. This isn't just a storm. It is a colossal atmospheric vortex with intense, highly localized storm systems violently swirling at its extreme edges. As the 2028 solstice approaches, this cyclone is absorbing massive amounts of solar energy, growing larger and more chaotic by the month. But the storms aren't the only things hiding in the JWST data. Peering just beyond the outer edge of Uranus's main rings, scientists discovered a microscopic, newly designated moon, S2025U1. This moon is astonishingly tiny, roughly 5 to 6 miles wide. It is so small and so incredibly faint that the Voyager 2 spacecraft completely missed it during its historic close flyby in 1986. Instead of hiding inside the inner dust lanes, it has been lurking just outside the main ring system, sandwiched in a tightly packed, gravitationally chaotic zone between the moons Ophelia and Bianca, roughly 35,000 miles from the planet's center. It has been orbiting there completely undetected for decades. The discovery of S2025U1 proves that the Uranian system is still packed with hidden mass and uncharted dynamics, and that even today, we are only just beginning to map the true complexity of this bizarre world. The data is undeniable. Uranus isn't broken. It isn't a dead, frozen relic of the early solar system. It is simply playing by extreme, highly localized rules that we do not fully understand yet. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you buy the ancient collision theory? Or is the JWST data pointing to something the mainstream scientific community isn't ready to admit? If you want to keep tracking the anomalies they can't hide, hit that like button and subscribe.